Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. All right, so we got Saturday hockey talk happening. There's a lot of rumors and stuff. I don't think there's as much Habs news as I would like for this show, but there's stuff to talk about. Rumors all over the place. The draft is happening in just over a week. I guess a week and a half. 11 days away from the draft. We will be doing a draft show. Obviously, we'll be starting a little bit before the draft and I guess running through to the end. So it should take about 3 hours, I would think, for the first round. So, all right. So, so tonight we're going to talk about whatever you want. I don't have that much prepared. Just that, I've got a list of topics, guys, we can talk about, stuff like that. And I don't know if anyone is even here. If you're here, say hi. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. And later on, I'm going to preview something I sort of previewed. My short story of mine, Ghosts of Habs Past. I know I did. I read it, I think. Anyway, I have one piece already done, fully edited, so final edit. I'm going to show it to you. The artwork is I'm going to show you some of the artwork, and it's kind of amazing. So there you go. So let's see who's here, and let's have some fun tonight, and we'll talk about whatever you want. Got an interesting story about my glasses, anyway, I'll tell us soon. All right, Habs Guru. It's going okay tonight. It was a weird day. It's one of those just weird kind of couple of days anyway. But okay, I hope all is well for you too. Marwisk, been a long time. I'm doing good. Hopefully you are as well. P, I'm gonna call you P or Cormier. You love Habs gossip? Well, we got all that kind of gossip. As well, it's rumor. I'm not making any of it up. It's just that, rumors are what they are. Justin, hey, Justin, baby is exhausting. Over 12 pounds, 7 weeks now. Wow. Babies, yeah, they're, I went through it 3 times. Yeah. You gotta, it's, I don't know that it ever isn't. Well, it gets less exhausting as they get older, I guess. Dan Asham, how you doing? I say Asham, but it's an S there, not an M. Anyway, that's how I say it. Quinn, hey Quinn, how you doing, man? What are chances of Hughes taking Michkov if available? In my opinion, low. I really think it's low. There's a lot behind the Michkov stuff. I'm going to get right back to it. Just want to say hi to Phil, Filibuster, and Matt Greer. How's it going, Matt? I'll get to yours. No, is that a question? Okay, let me answer Cormier. So listen, there's stuff I'm kind of learning, hearing new things that affect it. So the new things that I've heard. So the thing is that he's got a 3-year deal, can't be here for 3 years. The team may try to extend him for a couple of years. You say, well, he'll probably be here. He's not going to do that. How do they force him into that? And this has happened. The last year of they don't play you very much, so you get very little ice time. You don't develop further, and they try to push you to sign for the extra bit of time. If you want proof, just go look at what happened with Alex Romanov. That's exactly what happened there. And when Romanov got here, he was a little bit behind in his development. A little, not greatly, but still. So there's risk to that. And that's one of the reasons why I think that they're not going to take him. So yeah. So I think it's really low, that percentage that they're going to take him. Okay, I'm looking to see where I was, but the reason is it's scrolled down. Let's see now. How serious do you think the rumors are Hughes trading for Ducks or Sharks pick? It depends on the rumors you're reading, right? I think what's serious is that GM Hughes is aggressively trying to do that, to trade up to either 4 or second. You might hear different things of what he might be offering. That doesn't mean much, but he's aggressively probably trying to do that. Everything I read from everybody that seems to know says that. So yeah, But I wouldn't pay too much attention to what you're hearing that it's being offered and stuff like that. That's just, it is what it is kind of thing. Also, you know what? Speaking of Michkov, and then, if the Habs are trying to trade up out of fifth, and I mean, almost everybody will tell you Michkov probably is not going in the top four because of the things, there's guys there that are equal in value and you don't have to wait and certain things like that. And by the way, I read Will Smith probably 1 year in college and then he'll be in the NHL. So it's not a long wait. Where was I going with that? I gotta gather my thoughts. I totally forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, right. And I got it now. The fact that he's trying to trade up like that tells me he either won't take Michkov anyway, or doesn't want to have to. So it's not like maybe 100% sure that he's not going to, but it's got to be like 80%. I think trying to trade up says that I'm not going to wait for, like, if I wanted Michkov so I'd take whoever's left. If Michkov is the guy, they'd be happy to. If they're trying to trade up, they're targeting someone, and it's not Michkov. There I am. No, Marwis Gay, listen, I totally understood. Anyway, you dropped in once or twice here and there, didn't you? Hopefully next season will be a lot more interesting and fun to actually watch. So I expect good things from Slav. Although it's not going to shock me if he goes to Laval. It's also not going to shock me if he doesn't. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything in a little while towards that, but we won't hear that till we get closer to the training camp, I would think. Julian, how you doing? Apparently Michkov is a whole bad. He's bad with people, very disrespectful. People from KHL said that. Well, this was a rumor that I don't know is confirmed, but I heard something recently as well along those lines that Montreal, that's how they see his game and being sustainable in the NHL or not. And that's part of it. I don't know if he's disrespectful, but I think what I heard was a little selfish on the ice and doesn't use his teammates well enough. He's not a big kid. And I don't know that that's sustainable in the NHL. That's what is being said. So I said it in a video a few weeks ago now, I guess, that's the rumors. It might pan out to be true. If these things pan out to be true, those are the boxes that he won't be able to check, and they're not going to pick him. Quinn says both Benson and Leonard are impressive to me. Me too. I think Leonard, for one of the reasons anyways, is size, right? We got a lot of small guys, and if you have Benson or Leonard, I think Leonard might fit better here in Montreal, but I'm going to be doing a Benson draft preview, Habs prospect. I think it'll be number 3. I'm going to do Michkov next. And but I think Leonard sounds really good. Phil, I don't disagree with you that he could be an ultra high. I'm going to just go with high reward. To say ultra high, you're just buying into all the hype that you don't really know, right? And some people who make this hype don't know because he's not accessible. Oh, one thing I heard about him is scouts who were able to go to Russia to scout him, he wouldn't give them a meeting to talk to him. The best they could do is talk to him very briefly, like in the corridors of the rink. So they found he didn't come across very well. So anyways, they're not picking him. If they don't get to talk to him, they're not picking him. And if it's only going to be that they can talk to him because he's here or wherever the draft is, he's there and they can talk to him really quickly, I don't think that's going to do it. That's my opinion. Dan from Winnipeg. Hey, Dan. Oh, you're from Winnipeg. I didn't realize you're from Winnipeg. We just lost our WHL team, the Winnipeg Ice, through going to. They're going to Washington. They're going to Washington. I never. This is news to me. Well, that's freaking sucks. That's the problem with a junior team, right? No, it's an AHL. No, it's a junior. That's weird. AHL teams move around because affiliates and they can move around, I guess. Anyway, sorry to hear that. Phil says no Benson. We can't be fighting Gargamel all year. He's not Gargamel. He'd be the Smurf. Gargamel was the no. Am I wrong? Julian. I mean, the bad attitude. That was what. Yeah, it's when you can't. When there's no interviews with him, there's not much except highlights. You can't really tell, right? So Dan, I did have it right. It is Ashen, like Aaron Ashen, an ex-Hab, amongst other teams. What Gargamel is the curling guy? Never heard of him then before. I thought Gargamel was on the Smurfs. Hanzek to Pittsburgh. You're saying in the draft? Yeah. I'm doing it. I'm going to do another. I'm looking because it's not there. It's under the papers here. I'm going to be doing another mock draft, post combine mock draft. I hope I get it done. I just realized today there's just 11 days to the draft, so I got some work to do. I got so much stuff going on. Not funny. Sean, hey Sean. All the talk about all the players. I think Keller is the guy they will take. He wants out and would be perfect. But what's he making? Like, I think there's a money problem there with Keller. He's also not the biggest guy. Like, you got to look at some size issues too, right? We have some small guys. There's some small guys in the system. You don't want to bring in too many small guys. Do I think Hellebuck will be a Jet? I don't. I think the Jets are going to have to go through a rebuild. Justin, no, Hawks. And nobody's even talking about that. When you're talking about trading up, no one's really seriously saying, "Oh, they're aggressively talking to Chicago." No, because they're not trading that. So, yeah, no, that's not happening. Even to get second or move up to fourth, it hasn't happened in such a long time. It's unlikely they're going to be able to. Awesome, Paul. I got it. I'll try to remember that. If I don't, just remind me and it'll stick. Looking forward to the season. I believe the Habs will be much improved. They will be improved. Say much. I want to believe that that's true, but I'm going to hold off until we get there and it is. I expect them to be improved. I don't know. I haven't decided whether I think that they might actually be what's the word I'm looking for? Not borderline, but you could be a wild card challenging team. Like, I think that's possible, but I haven't decided yet. Let's see, like, when we get closer to the, training camp and all that. But yeah, they're going to be improved. I mean, there's no doubt, and fun to watch. And I kind of hope it shows in people's interest in the team. And when I do games, it's nicer when there's more people there. Marwisk is a Penguins fan. So what do you think about Dubas being the GM? I'm very curious then. Do you think the Jets will trade PLD? I was watching a guy I like, actually, Mike Johnson, right? He does some of the broadcasts. So just watching this just before coming in. His theory is, first of all, arbitration has been ruled out, right? So no arbitration. And he was saying, like, why would they not want to go to arbitration, or him not want to go to arbitration? So his feeling is that he's going to have to sign his qualifying offer if he wants to play, right? So if he doesn't, I thought that meant he's a UFA. It's not. He's going to have to sit out, and they can't trade him because he's got no contract, and so this gives them a little bit of leverage, a little more than they've got right now. So I kind of think he's going to get traded in the next 11 days or at the draft, but by then, or he's going to sign his qualifying offer, and they're moving at the trade deadline, and he may end up having to play for them. I mean, I don't see what else. I think they're going to trade him though in the next 11 days. It's really like moist here today. It's hard. It's going to be even harder to keep this lit. I didn't have time to dry it properly. Do I think there will be any more changes to the Habs medical staff? I don't know. I don't know if keep saying that. Dr. Mulder's been there a long time. I saw some good points saying that if you're going to fire these two guys, you kind of have to make a change up at the top there too, because how could it not be partially his fault? I know he's been excellent. He's saved guys' lives literally here. So I don't know. Quinn, good point. Quinn saying either way. I'm not sure from what though. I've got to scroll back to find it. I apologize for that, Quinn. Either way, the Habs leave this draft with an amazing prospect who immediately becomes their highest prospect with Hudson. Probably. I mean, probably. I mean, you got to think probably, right? Do I think that Hellebuck will be Oh, I answered that? How did I answer? It's down. Oh, okay. Did I look too low and then went back up? I guess. Peter, hey, Peter, how you doing? Is it possible that Leonard goes higher than 5th, possibly Columbus? I don't think so because, I mean, unless Columbus unless they're looking for like reaching to grab, I don't know why they would do that. The guys ahead of him are going into this draft are more talented. So, I don't think so. I think 1, 2, 3, 4 is pretty solid. It might change what order the 1, 2, 3, 4 go, but they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, those 4 guys. And then I think it could be, that's where it goes off the rails, maybe. I think Leonard answers what, like, for the guys that are left and that I know about. For my limited knowledge, Leonard fits the bill. Is he the only guy that fits the bill? I doubt that. They've got to be looking at other guys too and making, but for me, Leonard fits the bill. I see that Quinn answered as well. A little simpler than I did. I'd go as farther than doubted. I mean, I got to say I'd be shocked if Leonard goes higher than that. He was a steady riser from what I understand all last season, but I don't think he's going higher than that. Hey, Daryl, how you doing, man? Who does have a better chance to get harder? Who has I? Whoa, I don't think there's an answer there for Hart. I kind of, in the end, think Philly might not trade him at all. So, I don't think you can answer that. For Dubois, I don't know if you can answer more than the 2 teams that are like most rumored to get him, and that's either Montreal or LA. I think LA has more to offer. I like Montreal can offer like similar, I guess, or as good, but they're not going to because they're guys that they're not going to trade. But LA has guys, and I think LA can make a better offer. So I think LA. The Winnipeg Ice Arena was too small for the WHL. But where did you say they're going? Because if it's the Western, I guess they have some American teams there, right? Well, that really sucks, though. That really sucks. Sean says he's 5'11 and 45 for 4 more years. He is just as good as any player on the go. Who are we talking about, Sean? I'm sorry, I am not remembering. Oh, Keller. I scrolled back. And he's getting what? See, I don't get the 45. He's 5'11 and 45 for 4 more years. 4.5 million? Is that it? Yeah, but see, 5'11, you're not talking about a big guy still. I mean, 5'11, you're on the iffy side, right? So you could say, well, Nick Suzuki's got a big body. He's not 5'11, 180 or something like that. He's 5'11, 210, maybe a little more than that now. So that's there. Ryan Leonard's similar, right? And as a matter of fact, at the combine, he was just a hair under 6 feet. And he's also got, like, he's close to 200 pounds. It's not a smallish body. I don't know the weight of Keller. I don't know. Phil says Scooby Dooby, that's Dubas, is an hilarious GM. Yeah, he is. I wouldn't be, if I'm a Penguins fan, I ain't happy. Peter, I think a closer comparison is a guy like Matt Tkachuk or Brady Tkachuk, that type of a play. Now, Bergeron, to me, doesn't seem as, how do I want to put that? As dirty? I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm, he's that two-way kind of a player. But I mean, his comparison to me is more of the Tkachuk style of play. And since there's 2 Tkachuks in our division, and we should have one of them, but we didn't get him because stupid mistake. I don't mind getting a guy like Leonard. I would rather have one of the 3 centers ahead of him, yes, but I don't mind getting a guy like Leonard. Sounds like the kind of guy Montreal could really use and fits in with the kind of player that is probably going to be like the prototypical Hab going forward. He fits in there, in my opinion. Isn't Dubas president of, I was going to say Dubois, that's why, president of hockey operations? He is not the GM, right? You're right. He's the president of hockey ops. You're right. He's hiring the GM. I agree with you, Rick, about the Jets rebuilding. Yeah, well, they're going to have no choice if Scheifele, Wheeler, and Hellebuck and Dubois all go within the next year. Right, all 4 of them probably. What else you got? That's your like core, 4 of your core players. I think any team losing 4 core players, you're rebuilding now. Paul says, I'm interested to see what Trey Living will do with his 4 overpaid players. From all the talk out there, they want Austin Matthews, and he wants to stay long term. He's going to sign long term. Yet, apparently, they're whining and dining him in Arizona. You know what? I'm either way. I'm happy in that. If he leaves, it's like, we told you so. And if he stays, well, you got 8 more years of this loser trying to win, get you to the Stanley Cup with a loser. You're not going to get there. I'm happy. And they're going to pay him a lot, too. They're going to pay him a lot of money to not win. The only outcome that really scares me is if they go off the board with Dvorsky. I've seen those rumors less and less, but it's still a possibility. I've seen Dvorsky like listed as high as that, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think my guess for Dvorsky in my new mock draft is 11, Vancouver. If he's still there at 11, I think Vancouver takes him. Will he be there still at 11? I don't know. Maybe Detroit takes him. Renegade man, but we all do. Like every team overvalues their players, right? So yeah, if you're saying Montreal's 5th overall pick for PLD, not happening. If you're thinking Kirby Doc, not happening. The best they're going to get is Florida's first. I mean, if they're going to trade for PLD, it's going to be Florida's first, and then I mean Dvorak and somebody else maybe, not Joshua Roy. That's too high. Remember, PLD is what he is. I wouldn't mind having him do what he does here. It's not like I'm saying he's a horrible. I'm not saying that about him. But if we're going to trade for him, I'm not overpaying for him. And you can't give the argument, well, just wait. You're not hearing me say that anymore. Well, just wait a year. That's not happening. Wherever they move him to, he will sign a long-term deal. That's what, he said that. He gave a list of teams that he's willing to go and sign there. So Montreal's got to trade for him if they want him. Personally, I kind of think if Montreal trades for PLD, it's going to be at the draft. It's going to be at the draft. They're going to see who they get. Kind of think if they get a center, they don't trade for PLD. If they get Leonard, who's not, it's not for sure he'll be a center, but he can play center. Then, maybe they do trade for PLD. So I don't know. It'll make for an exciting next 10 days, though. Dan, I like I just said, I can only tell you by what the rumors really are, and really the only rumors that make a lot of sense is Montreal, obviously, because he wants to come here apparently, and LA, and apparently LA is the front runner right now. I don't know any more than that. You can make a guess, say any team, So where do I think he'll go? One of those two teams. And like I said, I think LA can make the better offer. So, and if I'm Winnipeg, I'm telling them, listen, we couldn't trade you to Montreal. You're shit out of luck. We got better offer from LA. You're going to LA, and that they're going to take what is the better offer for them. Oh, when he says, "Here's a question, old man," I got to be careful because it's going to be a doozer or maybe not. What team really needs to get smart and shape up or ship out? The only team that comes to mind is Arizona. Honestly, it's Arizona. They got to move him out of there. But I don't think that's what you're asking, though. So I'll say I don't think that's what you're asking. Hell, the only I could think of teams I don't like, but it's for personal reasons. I'm not sure what you mean. Who help me out by giving me who you would say. I promise I won't say the same team just to say a team. When I need to understand more. I'm not sure I'm getting this. Arizona to me. Should the Habs stay put at 5 or should go all in and move up? I don't know if Anaheim wants to. I won't go all in on it. No. See, because going all in like that just creates holes elsewhere. So, you can't overpay. You don't overpay just because of the sexiness of moving up. Grass is greener on the other side. We got to have it. No, it's not. It's not. It sometimes is, but mostly it's not. So, no, I don't think they should go all in that sense. I think in the sense that he is going all in by aggressively trying to trade up. I don't think you should take aggressively as meaning we're giving away the farm, because it's not what the case is. Quinn, I want to say thank you. It's a purposeful thing. I've discovered a bit of a system now. Instead of working kind of hilly-nilly on putting a script together and everything, I have a system, and I agree with you. I like it a lot better, and the results are a lot better too. So yeah, a little less overall work that frees me up for other things, but the results are better than they were before. So That's how it works. You know, it's just to say, I've been told this for how long I've been doing YouTube and trying to learn. That's what I've been told. I finally came to my senses. Only took me 5 years. Before I go any further, because we got a lot of people in here too. All right, so I want to play this for you guys. It is my short story, Ghosts of Habs Past, which I've read to you some of it and stuff. But I've got it's a 4-page, so I got 1 page, all done completely, and the artwork is amazing. I'm going to show you some of the artwork that's going to be in this video, and then I'm going to play that for you. So check out this amazing artwork. First, I'll say this isn't super amazing. It's kind of cartoonish. I didn't mean to get this, but I'm going to use it somewhere maybe. It's kind of cool though. I mean, I like the cartoon value of that, but that's not what I mean. So I was asking for something completely different, but it was about a goalie. I got these cool masks. I got more than that too. And then like this is really cool. The ghost shaking the hand. This one is like, well, this was supposed to be Jacques Plante. It's not, but it's cool. It's sort of a Habs logo. This one is cool. And I got a bunch of these, and they're going to be in. This is cool. Goes to Habs Past, having a beer. So anyway, I like those. So here is the opening, the first part of Ghosts of Habs Past. It was a rainy night in the last week of May. That's when the Habs ghosts came out to play. One by one, they walked down my street. It was kind of eerie. It was kind of sweet. A long line of players, all of the greats from Canada and Europe and the United States. Players I'd read about in my younger years were all walking, laughing, and drinking beers. What's going on? How could this be? How could Floyd Curry be out on my street? There goes Aurel Joliet and Howie Morenz. Where's my phone? I gotta call all my friends. There goes Pitre, Plamondon, and Georges Vezina. Which way are they going? Hey, they're going to the arena. How come no one else can see what I see? Is this some kind of parade? Is this just for me? The ghosts of Habs Past, right outside my door. What kind of drugs have I taken? I think I need more. Every Habs great there ever was out there on my street. It was kind of eerie. It was kind of sweet. The ghosts of Habs Past, are they all out there? I think a few are in their underwear. Sticks over their shoulders, stuck through each skate blade, off towards the arena. Are they really going to play? Yay! Let me know what you think in the comments. And again, let's. I'll just keep going with if I can figure out where I was. Shit, how far back then? There it was. Leonard Smith are decent. Wouldn't be upset if picked. Still a risk. Michkov is the most talented. You know, I'm not going to deny that, but it's just because he's got the most individual skill. It's not the only thing that they're looking at, right? Individual skill. If it's just individual and it doesn't, I don't know if I'm putting that right. It's not going to make it, right? It's a team sport. They play a team game. They're a close team. If this guy isn't that and they can't talk to him to confirm any of it, they're not picking him. I think Smith's more than decent, and Leonard is more than decent too. Phil, it depends on like I've been saying, it depends on what the price is to do all those things. They've got prospects, they got picks, they can make deals. It's not that, but you're not to give away the farm. Not just in futures, you're going to give away a little bit. To give away the farm, though, doesn't make any sense, and they won't. I'm confident they won't. Paul Hughes has actually said that it is possible that he could bring somebody in that makes more than Suzuki. Nick and Cole got paid as players coming off of their ELCs, not as experienced guys on their second or third contract, or third or more contract, which means that potentially they could pay Dubois more, but he's not worth it. So they're not going to. And don't forget, Hughes is a former player agent. So he knows what he's worth. He's not paying more than that. Renegade Man says, I know Byfield and Clark would be untouchable on LA, and the Jets have to take a cap dump since LA are close to the cap, and PLE is asking 8.5 to 9 million. You know, Byfield you might be overrating him. I saw something interesting about how he hasn't hit yet, but maybe that's because he's not going to hit. His game wasn't like the person I saw. I don't remember what his name was. It's a writer. And, you know, if you paid attention, he said if you paid attention at his draft, you could see that this would happen with Byfield. So I wouldn't be buying high on Byfield, is what I'm saying, I guess. And probably if they're willing to trade Byfield, it's because they know it and they want to get him out of there. My opinion, by the way. From what I'm gathering and stuff, that's how I make my opinions. We do need the last Kachuk. What does it cost to get him? What do you mean the last? Is there another actual Kachuk? I don't think there is. We need Smith. I would like to get Will Smith, but I'm pretty happy. Like if they can't, and they probably can't unless they trade up. And trading up is not something you can look at and say, yeah, well, they'll probably trade up. No, it's very unlikely that they'll trade up, that they'll be able to. It's very unlikely. I'm happy. I like what I saw in Leonard. I like the type of player he is, the tenacity, the never say die kind of always working. And we all know players who work hard and have skill, and he does. Good things come from that. So, yeah. Oh, Dan, that's horrible. So why won't Winnipeg build an arena or something? Babe, absolutely. I was just talking about Matthews before. Listen, if Toronto wants to sign him like that, good on them. Matt, hey, let's sign this guy and pay him a ton of money. He's a guy you can't win with. Let's get that guy and make sure he stays there a long time so we can't win with him. I'm all for that for the Maple Leafs. Sufka! How's it going, man? Hey, there's a new song out if you haven't seen it. Go check it out. I know you like my songs. If the Habs cannot get a deal done to move up, they could move down and deal with a team with 2 first-rounders and get 2 of Leonard Wood. Yeah, pretty much if they deal down, they're not getting Leonard. Matthew Wood in question. I didn't like what I read about him from his last year. Gabe Perreault, I'm not, he's good. I'm not saying no, but you got 5th overall pick. Why you want to trade down? You got a 5th overall. Trade down so you can, what's the word I'm looking for? So you can water that down into 2 lessers. How is that any better? That's what I don't get. So I'm not a fan of them trading down here. There's times when trading down works, but not when you got a top 5 pick. I don't believe that. Unless it's a horrible draft. Horrible draft, trade down. This is not a horrible draft. Well, Quinn, I would agree with you if before this past season, Joshua Roy set out on a mission kind of to change his game into a more well-rounded game. And the season he just had, he was successful. And if he can do that there, I think now his game does translate well into the NHL. So, like, I don't know that I agree with you on that. But I think you were right before this season. But that's why he decided. I saw an interview with him saying this too. I guess at the World Junior Championships in January, and that's what he did. And I think he was successful. So I'm not into trading Joshua. I think he could really be a good player, and I don't want to give up on a player that he could potentially be. When there's other guys to use than Joshua Roy. I wouldn't be surprised if Sharks GM Mike Greer picks someone off the board like David Reinbacher at 4. No, Reinbacher's not going at 4. Which would be the best advantage for the Habs? I think if he goes off the board, is that he'll take Michkov, which now would be going off the board at 4 a little bit. So, but I think it's a possibility that he could do that and take Michkov, but not Reinbacher. No, and anybody that really thinking about Reinbacher for the Habs, yeah, I'm not taking Reinbacher over Leonard. I don't think they are either. If they were really suffering on defense and the prospects weren't, then okay. But that's not the case here. And there's no reason to take a defenseman that is good, but I don't know that he's better than taking a Ryan Leonard. No, not my opinion. Sean says, I agree, but they will still keep their 5th pick. And Keller got 80 points on a shit team. Maybe not PLD. Maybe not, but PLD wants 9. Oh, I see what you're saying. And a 31 pick and a couple young fellas would get him. But okay, but again, why do they have to go and do it? If they can't get PLD, then they got to go get Keller. Why? I think they're on a great track. I'm not saying it wouldn't help them or anything, but I don't think we got to go do this. I don't think that at all. And I'll say this: if they do it, it's because they fleeced Arizona to get him. I don't think they're doing anything they're not fleecing, or at least coming away 50-50. What is the best advice? This is from Sofka. I would give someone in their late 20s, or what would I've said to myself at that age? Take life a little more seriously. Think about your future a little more. Be responsible. Live up to your word. There. I wish I would have done a lot more of that in my 20s. Where does Anderson go? Nowhere. He goes home and he rests up until the next game. Seriously takes 2 firsts and go, or 2 big. I don't. What are you talking about? Who's going to take 2 firsts? To get Anderson? If they're offering 2 firsts for Anderson, you might consider that. Yeah, no one's going to do that, and I don't think he's going anywhere. Would I trade Lane Hudson? I would not. And the 5th pick for the 2 pick? No. How? Let me ask this, and I've seen this. It's not me coming up with this. What do you figure the difference is between number 2 pick and the number 5 pick? If that difference is less than Lane Hudson, then you're overpaying. And that difference would have to be huge to make Lane Hudson expendable on that. So there you go. Journey. What's going on with Carey Price? He is in limbo. I mean, he's not coming back. He's not going to come back to coach right now anyway. It won't be a while. I was just reading something where they're saying that, at least a few years before he's like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with his money, with his contract, but he's moved back to Kelowna at the end of this month, I believe. And he's not coming back to play. That's not happening. He's going to be 36. He's going to need at least a year and a half to get back into shape, because he hasn't done anything in the longest time. He's not coming back at 38 to win a Stanley Cup after 4 years off. It's not happening. So what's happening with him? He's moving back to Kelowna, and he's going to get used to being a retired, soon-to-be retired hockey player. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I believe me, I'd love to have him come back, but he's not coming back. 41 looks way too big. What are you talking about? How far back am I on this? You're talking about in those things that I showed? Oh, my God, how far back? I apologize, y'all. I am 12 minutes behind in the comments. Wow. Awesome. I'm glad you guys like that stuff. So you're curious about where I got that? Because I didn't pay anybody to put that up. That's AI. I signed up for Midjourney, it's called. So it's an AI art. It's AI artwork. I wanted for the thumbnails, but it doesn't work for thumbnails. It just doesn't work for at least for what I'm doing. It doesn't work for thumbnails for me. But for my short stories and stuff like that, I can make amazing artwork for that. Literally what I made today for this video would probably cost me probably like $10,000 and months of time to have it done. And I did it all this afternoon for $10 for the month. You know, I don't like to put people out of work or anything, but I can't afford, I don't have the time to wait. So I don't plan to abuse it or anything like that, but when I'm doing certain kind of videos, that's going to come in handy a lot. And yeah, you know, I just need to type in what I want, and it pretty much gives me pretty much what I want. Yeah, it's awesome. So okay, my funny story. Here's a funny story. So you see my glasses. I don't know if they look the same or not. They are the same, like frame. These are my backups. So you can't tell. They're which side? This side. This side, it's a little lower because I'm missing the nose piece there. Right now, why am I telling you this? Because these are my glasses that I always wear. Busted them last night. Why is that funny? After maybe 2 years of planning, like I got to go see, I got to go to an eye doctor, get new glasses and all that, right? Because these are just a drugstore eyeglasses. We go yesterday, me and my ex-wife, we go for an eye exam, pick out glasses. I just haven't gone. I didn't think we were going to buy them there, so I didn't bring anything for deposit. And I didn't put a deposit yet. Anyway, so last night, and I've done this, if I haven't done this 100 or more times before last night, fall asleep here late at night watching TV, my glasses fall off. I wake up at some point, I do stuff, I move my chair and everything, realize my glasses aren't on, I find them on the floor. I could have crushed them and didn't. Went to see an eye doctor yesterday. Last night I did that. Last night, so on Monday, I'm going in. Cash. Here's the money and the glasses. I'll have them in a week. So it's just a funny story, right? Isn't that how life works? Anyway, I just thought I'd tell y'all. So I tried taping them, and they worked okay last night. Now they just want to fall off. Like I can't. So I'm using my backups, and they're a pain in the ass because they're missing that piece, and I hate it. So I got like 9 days to wait now, and I'll have new glasses. They look very much different than this. So you'll see them when I get them. Okay, let me continue on. No, Matt, I don't think that Matt asks, is it possible that Dubois goes to LA but refuses to sign? The whole point in how they're moving him here, if they move him like this, is that the agent Brisson is they're gonna work out a deal with LA that Winnipeg will sign him to and trade him. It's a sign and trade thing. So no, if he's going wherever he goes, it's gonna be a sign and trade. So He's signing. And if that's how they're doing it, it's because he's signing 8 years. That's the way that a new team can get him 8 years. Is Winnipeg signs him to 8 years because they have the right to, and then trades him. So that's what's happening. I think if you want to know more, if you haven't seen my PLD, the last, not the song one, but the one before that, I did a PLD video just a few days before that, explaining all that stuff. I believe in that video. So check it out. And yeah, you'll get a little bit more in depth. Phil, I think the Ghost Hang On, listen, it didn't come out exactly as I described it. I got a whole bunch of things, but there were a few that I really liked, and it's not gonna be a perfect picture of the descriptor of my story, but I think the artwork is pretty compelling, and yeah, I'm really impressed. It's kind of eerie though, right? Well, thank you, Phil. Thank you. Well, I mean, well timed, and it's all there is Rumours right now. Moonlight, how's it going, man? Yeah, it has been a while. I've been up and down and whatever life throws at me. How about you, man? Good to see you in here. Where's my mouse? Well, you've heard it before, and I appreciate you saying that again. Yeah, no, it's you know what? With that artwork behind there, it kind of seems like you hadn't seen it before, right? Or heard it. I really think the artwork was really amazing to me. I like, and that's not like there's some really better stuff. I think there's some better stuff coming, and I still have a lot to still do. I used up so much of what I made today. Yeah, and there's things in there that I want specifically to try to get to what I'm saying. So I've got some work to do. So I don't know when this will be out, but it doesn't have. There's no rush on this thing because it's not time sensitive. You read Ottawa mayor is A-okay with downtown stadium. I would think so. No, I would think so. I don't think that was an issue there. I think it's here in Montreal for the Expos to find a downtown ballpark. That's an issue. But yeah, I wouldn't expect Ottawa to. That their arena out there, it's horribly placed. And for a team that's struggling, to get fans, one of the reasons they're struggling is that no one wants to go to that arena. So if you get an arena that's closer, if not in downtown, build it and they'll come, as they say. Phil says, I would go there for a Habs game and free parking and Beaver. I knew you were going to say Beaver Tails. I didn't see that on the bottom, but I thought you were being funny. Hey, Stand Man. Heard an interesting rumor. Habs trade 5th. They're not. 31st and Ullinen to Anaheim for their second pick. Just that. You're taking 5th, 31st, and Ullinen for their second pick. I'm just, what shocks me about that is you say that sounds interesting. That is an exorbitantly huge overpay. I know you're looking at it and say, yeah, what do you mean? If Fantilli, okay, say, because he's a draft pick. I mean, say his career is only average, right? He's just an average. Turns out to be a third line center. You just gave away a shit ton there. So when you're talking about acquiring a pick and you want to give a shit ton to throw at it, unless that's Connor Bedard, I wouldn't do that, right? If it's an established player, at least you know what you're getting. But you're throwing, okay, granted draft picks, the same thing unknown, but to get an unknown back, I don't get it. That's my opinion. That's why I'd be a better man. No, I wouldn't be. I don't think I'd be a good GM. Can you tell me what's happening with Carey Price? Cherney, I just did. There's nothing happening. He's moving back to Kelowna at the end of the month, and he's not training. There's nothing happening. He's not recovering. His knee is not better. He's learning how to be not a hockey player anymore. That's it. I don't know what else to say. And I don't think there's any coaching in his immediate future anyway. Not in Montreal anyway. Let's put it that way. All right, my head's itchy. Not getting the second pick for fringe prospects, Florida's pick or some seventh rounder. Let's be sensible here. And that's why you're not getting the pick. And that's why, listen, it does. How often have you seen it happen? In any draft, how often have you seen it happen? Our team moves up into second by trading, or third, or fourth. How often? No, that's the reason why. You got to give away too much to get, again, an unknown, because it's still an unknown. Would you imagine giving away a shitload of stuff to have picked up Alex Lafreniere or whoever didn't really hit in the last how many years? You could have done that. Would that have been worth it? No, and that's the reason. Carey is fishing and hunting. He's retired. He's living the retired life without officially being retired because there's $30 million on the table. Right? I mean, I get it. I thought he would do that and retire, but I get it. I get why you wouldn't. Do I agree every team needs a puck-moving mobile defenseman? Habs, Mike Matheson, and Lane Hudson. And people want to trade them. Right? Hey, we got something good, but look on the other side of the fence. Look how nice that is. Let's do that. And that's the problem. I used to be like that, though. Doing this totally changed me from that. It took 5 years, but I like to think I'm a much more reasonable Habs fan now than I used to be. Carey Price is tired. He's tired. He can't do it anymore. That $10.5 million check is getting heavy, says Phil. No, listen, you know what? He can still walk. I think he'd like to still be able to do that. And unless something changes to that effect, then he can start. He's not going to. I mean, that's just what it is. And 3 years, if nothing's changed, he'll be retired. No, I believe there's 3 left, Phil. This season just ended. So there's, I believe, 3. Whoops. Jumped. What happened? Oh. Cherney says Carey Price at 80% is still better than 90% of the goalies out there. But Carey Price at 20%, which is about what he is not Carey Price at 80%. That's the problem. Right? You might be right that if he was at 80% or a little more, he might have stuck it out, but he's not. And he's in pain and he can't do the moves and he wants to be able to walk up and down the stairs holding one of his kids if he needs to or whatever, and he can't do that right now. That to him is more important, as it should be. Hey, BL, how you doing, man? There's only 40 people. I see 41. I see 41 people. I see dead people. No, I see 41 people. Yeah, smash the like button. It's because I don't ask often enough, and that's fine. Maybe people don't like this. I don't know. Hey, no problem, Savka. It is about Pierre-Luc Dubois, so take a look for it. Hey, Rems. So far, we saw Hughes Gordon make trade that benefit both teams at that moment. Considering that, which player do you think could be traded to add one guy, and who's that guy? I don't think it's necessarily, I don't know. I don't think they're necessarily going to make any trades. They might not be able to, number one. And I also don't believe Hughes or Gordon would make trades just to make a trade. So, and personally, I don't think Kent Hughes ever sets out, either when he was negotiating contracts for his players or as the GM of the Montreal Canadiens to make a trade that benefits both teams. He's looking to make trades that benefits the Montreal Canadiens. And that's it, in my opinion. Carey Price comes back in his final year on a Kucherov technicality and comes in at no cap for a couple of minutes to give Monty a pee break to win a cup. Technically they could do that. So, yeah, hey, why not? We're all entitled to have a dream. Okay, Sean, I want to say you're saying Fantilli, not fatally. Fantilli's worth the trade for Lane, and if you don't see that with all the D the Habs have, there's something wrong. Think about it for a minute. He is a slight come down from Bedard. I'm only going to ask you this. Then why would Anaheim trade down and not take him? Why would Anaheim not take him then? Why are they going to give up what we say is not as good as that guy? Why are they going to take not as good as that guy? To be honest, Shea, you don't have to, your honesty is not in question. Shea Weber got a surgery to fix his ankle bone, can walk, but will not be able to skate anymore. Wow, that sucks. Well, not NHL skate. I'm sure he could go out on the rink with his kids. Price has knee problem. He is in pain when he picks up his own kids. He's not going to play in the NHL. Vegas got lucky. They trade for Shea Weber. That's right. They got rid of Weber's contract to get Aiden Hill. That worked out for them. I mentioned Lafreniere, but not like to talk about it. I was just saying that, if you're going to trade good things to move up in the draft, sometimes it doesn't work out. Like, would you trade whatever to get Lafreniere? No. Wouldn't be happy about it. LA going to be good if adding PLD for sure. I saw somewhere where someone said it's not a really good fit. I haven't analyzed it. I don't think I could. But you think, right? You got to think. Could PLD sign $9 million 1 year with the LA Kings? No, it's not going to be a 1 year deal. If it's going to be a 1 year deal, they'll trade him anywhere. It won't matter, right? They're going to move him wherever they can. But he's given a list. They're checking it twice. Gonna find out. No. So he said he'll be willing to sign long term with that team, and they're going to make sure that the team that's on the list will be willing to sign him long term. So it'll be two partners that are happy to work together. So he's not going to be available in a year unless he asks for a trade again, which could happen. I see Phil was answering Softcom on that question he asked me. You know what? I rethought that, and I think the best advice you can give anybody, and I don't think it matters what age, don't be see you next Tuesday. Just don't be one of those kind of people. That's the best advice. Treat people the way you want to be treated. That's it. All right. I saw Phil's comment. Price needs to be higher for developmental purposes, but I was just reading that that's not happening for at least a few years yet. So in other words, not until his contract's over, then you can start talking about it. And one of the reasons is this: for him to do that, I do believe, for him to do that, step into that role full time, he needs to retire as a player. He's not going to do that for 10, so it's going to wait a few years, if ever. Nicholas, welcome, by the way. Yeah, I mean, there's still time. It doesn't mean there's to no avail. I don't know that I want to move down to do what though. To get watered down players, and you got a chance at this good pick. I don't want to move down and get two, half versions of that. I don't want that because two half versions of that one guy doesn't add up to one guy. So, do you think Adam Fantilli is NHL ready? Don't know enough about him to say that. They say he is. Everything I read says he pretty much is. I don't know if it's true personally. I didn't check into him yet. And I don't find there's a reason for me to check Adam Fantilli. We're not getting him. Paul, I mean, I don't know if they're even going to trade him with the new coach. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to trade Lafreniere. I think once Gallant got fired, I think Lafreniere probably going to stay there. But then again, trading him, it wouldn't be a surprise. He's not coming here, though. I mean, that rumor kind of really died down. There was nothing to it at all. I would trade. How long? Oh, I thought it was farther in. I would trade the 31st and Ullinen to move up to the second spot, but that's not going to get you that. But yeah, like I said, is the 31st pick in Ullinen equal to Fantilli? No. So why would they do that? You've got to give a lot more than that to make it worth their while. And that's why it's the trade up's probably not going to happen. It's unlikely. It's like really unlikely. Hey, Joseph, how you doing? These draft picks are unknown. How are they going to work out in the NHL? Right. You don't give away good known stuff to get. Yeah, unless certain. Okay, Connor Bedard. I'd give up things for Connor Bedard. Sure. But why would Chicago do that? Will Hoffman be bought out? You know what? Apparently, no. There's going to be no buyouts. They don't want to have money. They don't want to have dead cap go beyond this season coming. So if anything's going to go into the 24-25 season, they're not interested in it. So no buying out Armia, no buying out Hoffman. Does that mean they won't buy him out? I don't know, but this is what I'm reading. So makes sense actually in a way. And then I say, well, you know what? I don't know. I think if you can't move him, I don't mind. It's a million. Was it a 1.16 million this season on the cap? And I think it's 1.666 million next season. That's not horrible money. But they don't want that. So don't expect to see them like retaining salary for past this coming season or make a buyout like this where, they're going to owe a guy money after this. I'm not sure why you're saying that. Am I come off as rude? I hope not. I don't know if I'm always very direct. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm not. Bye-bye, that's it. Exactly. You can't predict these guys. They may seem like the only guy you can be fairly certain of almost 100% is Connor Bedard. He'll be a good NHL player to great, to generational, but his floor is really high. But, other guys, it's hard to predict that at a 100%, I'm not sure what you're saying there, just about the defenseman. Disturbing news on Henri Richard. He died from CTE. That's what it is. Every hockey player, especially in those days, suffered head trauma. But Henri Richard, they tested four deceased NHLers, I think, in a study, and three of them, their deaths were caused by CTE. And the point is that Gary Bettman refuses to acknowledge this. Beal says, all the Philadelphia scouts told Ron Hextall that Cale Makar was the guy. He overruled them and took Patrick. And that was a huge see. And here's a good point, right? You mess up on this top 5 pick, has implications for a long time down the road. It's an important. They can't make a mistake here. So to gamble it on like that that could be a huge mistake, and you don't do that. And to me, I think that is a bit in the trading down. You don't do that because you need to hit. You're better off. You're better chance of getting that player you're looking for at 5 than at 8 or 10 or 12. Payby says Richard could not have died from CTE because Bettman said it does not exist, and therefore it does not exist. What a crock of shit is right, Payby. But I mean, listen, if you opened up a crock of shit, that's where they found Gary Bettman in the first place. So, but just that, by the time Slavkovsky would be considered a flop, and if Lafreniere is still a flop, you're not trading for him. Who do you prefer the Habs pick at number 5 if not taking Michkov? That's for everybody in the chat to chime in and see. I'm good with Ryan Leonard. I think I want. I don't know. I think Benson's a pretty talented guy, and so if they go either way, Leonard or Benson, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to be upset. Will they go off the board from that? I really don't think so, but you never know. Guru, yeah, good point. Lehner gets his name not on the cup because he didn't play a game all year. Yep. But I mean, listen, he's on the LTIR. I'm sure he was seriously on the LTIR. They would get 2 players for 1. The difference is for the Habs, it's the top player for the top line and a close to 270 points for 1. No, but again, so how do I want to put it? Yeah, I don't know. Would you want? I'd rather have the one great player than 2, okay players. There's a big difference there. The 2 okay players, that might help your team a little bit. They're not going to put you over the top. Where the guy that you get at number 5 could put you over the top. Nicholas, I think it's for everybody, right? We look at these guys, you look at their highlights. Sure, everybody looks great in their highlights, right? But for me, I'm reading scouting reports and stuff like that to get a better understanding. But everybody looks great in their highlights. Otherwise, they wouldn't be highlights; they'd be lowlights. Oh, so you're saying I don't know what I'm talking about? Awesome. Anyway, I could say the same for you. I don't see what you said that you seem to know more than I do about what you're talking about. Anaheim already has a 1A, 1B centers. No need for Fantilli. Maybe Michkov fits better fit. But I mean, I don't think Michkov's going second. I know the possibility's kind of there, but I don't think they're going to do it, though. I've talked about it. It's not going to shock me completely if they do. I still don't think they are. Besides, Fantilli's probably not here for another year. Well, at least another year, maybe two. Like, I don't think Fantilli is playing in the NHL next season regularly. The year after, he might. And if he stays in college, it could be the year after that. That's right. They could just move Zegras over to a wing. Yeah, having two centers there already doesn't really stop them from drafting a center. Pretty certain the top 5 are more or less first liners. Top 6 for sure. You got to think top 6 for sure, unless they don't, if they hit their floors only and don't hit their ceilings or come far short of that. That's different, but pretty much, right? Hey, Mike, how you doing? I'm doing okay. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Born to be a Hab, absolutely. But your percentages of non-bust players to bust players are higher in the top 10 than anywhere else in the round. So you need 3 type of defensemen: the puck-moving D-man, like Matheson and Lane Hudson; the hard-hitting defenseman, Biamov, Joel Edmondson, and now Arbor Jacki; and finally the reliable one, Gooley and Harris. Well, I would think Gooley is in that monster Biamov hitting guy. Edmondson's going to be gone. But yeah, in general, you're right. You're 100% right. You need puck movers. Now you need more. See, it's a little change, though, from what I understand. Now you need more of a combination of that puck-moving guy and the stay-at-home guy. Basically, can't have that Joel Edmondson type going forward because he doesn't provide enough to the offense. Defensemen need to be this is a word I'm looking for. I'm not getting it. They need to be a combo of both. It's not the word I'm looking for still. So yeah, and you see that in Jacki, right? Jacki can play both. He can play the big tough guy, but he's got some skill to his game, and some speed, and he's not just a stay-at-home type of guy, and that's what you need. So the old stay-at-home guy is kind of becoming a dinosaur. David likes Leonard. Vote for Leonard. Hughes has a tough choice if he didn't pick Michkov, and 5 years from now, he's a superstar with a rival. That hurts. But no draft pick is a given. Not many generational talents in yearly drafts. Okay, but there's also this aspect. Michkov, yeah, sure, he hits with whatever team. Montreal just won a Stanley Cup with their draft pick. I take that. And you know what, too? Just because Michkov might hit with another team, it doesn't mean he would hit with Montreal. Or just because he'd hit with Montreal doesn't mean he'd hit with another team, right? The fit also has to be there. One never knows. That's why it is a crapshoot. It is to a certain extent a crapshoot, the draft, right? So you want to cut down as much as you can about the chances that are taken on the pick, as much as you can. That's what it's about. And then sometimes you swing for the fences. If Michkov was bigger, right? If Michkov really was, say, was a 6-footer and not 150 pounds, but 175 pounds, I might really look at it differently. But you have to take that into that as well, as he's really small on top of it all. At best, he's 5'10". He's listed at 5'11". He's not 5'11". He's 5'10" at best, and he's really not heavy. He's not a bulky guy at all. How will he handle with you? Everyone, so many of you out there. I don't know how many in this chat right now, but talk about Cole Caulfield being small. He won't be able to handle the hits over the years and all that. But you want to put Michkov in there, who's small. Caulfield weighs more than Michkov, but you have no problem with Michkov not being brittle or whatever. Like I don't get that. I don't know where I am because I going up and down here on this chat. I don't know where I was. If I miss anybody, I apologize. Born to be Habs. See, I like that better, right? You leave your fifth pick alone. And you might see this at the draft where they put together the 31st and maybe the second round pick or 31st at a player and maybe somehow move up or get another first round. I don't think it would be that high a first rounder though. But there are options for them. I just don't think he's going to do anything at all that hurts the team. BL, yeah, 100%. Somebody could go off the board. But it wasn't listed. Look, last year we knew it wasn't like the best draft. Well, this is a really deep draft. I don't know that you're going to see that so much here. Future lefty in Montreal. Gooley, Hudson, Jacka. Where's Matheson? I'll just say there's a bit of an overload here in Montreal. There's a lot. That's why why do we need to go trade for? If anything, you need a right side D. Okay, I can understand if they do go trade for a right side D, an experienced guy, but there's an abundance here of defensemen that are good, and some of these guys do play both sides. Harris plays both sides. There's somebody else too. Okay, wait, Joseph. Are you saying just the fifth pick for the first overall? Why would Chicago trade that pick for? Not for almost anything. I mean, you want to offer them half of a team, but why would Chicago trade that first pick? They're not. So it's not a question of would I. It's not going to happen. And then, did you think you misspelled fifth pick? I'm not sure why. What you mean there? Because if you're saying just the fifth pick for the first, well, that's not going to work. Yeah, it's just Lane Hudson's not going anywhere. When you see Lane Hudson involved in a rumor, it's just a stupid rumor. That's my opinion. Have a good one, Stan. Thanks for being here, eh? Thank you. Appreciate it. It would be nice to move up a bit after their fifth pick to pick Ethan Gauthier. So what you're saying, like from the 31st pick that they've got, you'd like to see that move up into a spot that they can get Ethan Gauthier. Like they might do something to get another. I don't know. There's options for them. Did we talk about like everything here? Oh, I do have a few things. So let's just go on to some of the things that I kind of heard over the last week. Dennis Guryanov, they're not gonna qualify him. Doesn't mean that they don't want him in the organization. Apparently, they're not going to qualify him because it's 2.9 million. They're not doing that, but they'll do like they did with Rem Pitlick. Is what I'm hearing. Is they didn't qualify Pitlick. That was mostly because he could have gone to arbitration and probably would have got a higher contract in arbitration. But then they turned around and they re-signed him to a lower number, right? And I think that's what you'll see with Guryanov. That's the talk. Alex Belzile, they pretty sure he's going to test the market because they're not going to sign him to a one-way deal. He'd like a one-way deal. They're not going to sign him to a one-way deal. It'll be a two-way. He'll test the market, see if he can get something that way, or he'll come back and sign a two-way. That's what I'm hearing. Sam Montembeault would like to be extended. They can do that as of July 1st. I think they wait a little bit, though. I think they wait till the season starts and see how he does, and just to make sure. And then I think they do sign him to an extension. And then last I heard, Rafael Harvey Pinard, who is due for a contract, don't expect him to be long-term signing. They're going to have to probably sign him to a bridge deal. When I say have to, I don't know the reason why. That's what I read. And I didn't read the reason why. But it kind of makes sense. It helps to manage the cap is what I think over time. So that's what I've got on those guys that we didn't get to because we're getting close to the end of the show. And I did not want to forget that. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. I'm going to call you Galcan. He's 32, I think. So, I mean, there's really if he insists on a one-way contract, that means you got to waive him and whatever, blah. Sign a two-way deal, or you'll have to go somewhere else. That's what I say. There's only so much loyalty can take you only so far, is what I'm trying to say. And then the rest is business. And they got their plan. They can't screw that up by committing to a 32-year-old Alex Belzile beyond what a two-way deal. Yeah, BL. I know a little bit about Ethan Gauthier, but I don't know enough. He's not going to get picked in the around 5th, so I doubt. Like, I don't need to really. I don't have time to delve into guys like that. I guess I don't know what I'm saying. We're going to probably do 4 more draft prospect videos. I'm going to do 2. I think Matt's going to do 2. I know I'm going to do 2. I only think Matt's going to do 2. I don't know. That was just so that BL doesn't get a comment on that. Sean says, I love Lane, but the only way I would trade him would be for the number 2 pick because he is a superstar and he is 63 and 100-point guy. He's 63, Adam Fantilli? Wow, he looks young. What do you mean by 63? 63 goals? You think Adam Fantilli is going to get 63 goals? Is that what you're saying? Well, I think Lane Hudson could be a key component to a Habs championship by being a power play quarterback. And I don't know that I want to give up. I don't know that I want to make that trade. Sometimes it's worth giving up good prospects like that, and sometimes I think it's not. Galkan says, I heard rumors of them going after Mantha, a big winger, but I'd rather get a young Marchenko, another big winger. I don't know much about Marchenko. I do know the rumors about Mantha. Thing is, Mantha is going to be one of those, you take on his contract because it's $5.7 million for, I think, just next year or it's 2. I'm not sure, but I think it's just 1 more. That's a lot of money. So you're taking on to get something. So, and then you know what, Mantha, if he say he does well here, there's a chance that that happens. You could probably get him at a really good contract after that. So I wouldn't mind, seeing picking up Mantha to get another like first round pick like they did with Monahan, because that's what it would be like. It would be like that Monahan deal. Yeah, Babe, I've been saying that, right? You got to be careful about the small players coming in too, because we've got a lot of small players here, and they're good ones. It's not like you just well, we'll get another. And yeah, you don't go off. They're not going to reach. They're not going to do another KK. They're not. As a matter of fact, picking Leonard kind of makes up for the KK mistake, because you're getting a guy like along the lines of Brady Tkachuk, not as big as Brady Tkachuk, but very much along those lines. BL, if you've got the idea that I'm knocking Fantilli, I'm not. I'm really not. Right? But until you draft him and he becomes the next Nate McKinnon, it's just speculation. And by the way, that only cements what I'm saying about Anaheim. Why would they do what? Why would they take lesser and give up Fantilli? It doesn't make sense. Ah, 6'3". I get you. I'm not. I'm not going to do Fantilli because I think it's super unlikely we get him. I'm just doing draft prospects that for the fifth pick. Because to say, they might not trade up till the draft. I can't predict any of that. I'm not going to try to. Nicholas, yeah, I think. Listen, I think Ryan Leonard hits the size. It's not. He's not on the high end of it, but he's a 6-footer with good body size. Like, he's not a light 6-footer, and throws his weight around, plays big. I'm good with that. That's where that's what I say. Listen, I'm going to take off in a few minutes. I think when I'm done this, I'm going to take off. So 32 people here. Let's see some thumbs up if you don't mind. If you had a good time and you haven't given a thumbs up, please give one. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, consider it. I'd appreciate that. And what else? Like I said, I was working on my next draft prospect video. I think I'm going to do Michkov, just to get it out of the way and prove that I'm not fully anti Michkov. I just think there's some issues there. But I mean, he's definitely a talent. What else am I doing? Oh, that's not the right paper for that. I've got a list of everything I'm doing or thinking of. And of course, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Right. So I'm planning to do Michkov and Benson. I'm not 100% sure who Matt is planning. If he's already got some work on Benson, I'll give him that. I'll pick someone else. I'm going to do another mock draft. This one post combine in a few days at the earliest. And I'm working on my that Ghost of Habs past. So hopefully you guys will look for that. And whatever else comes up, if something comes up that they made a trade or anything, I'll do a video. I'm just trying to pick better targets, and not like there's a lot of videos I did where, well, I like the subject matter, I'm going to do the video, but there was no interest. So you get no views, and it doesn't help the channel at all. So I'm going to do a lot less of that, and be a little bit more focused on the targets I pick to do videos on, because it's working. And I sound better when I'm not rushing to make a video. And when I'm putting out a ton of videos, I'm rushing through them, and I don't like that anymore. All right. Do I like Heineman? I think Heineman could be a trade target, honestly, but I do like Heineman There's a lot of potential there, which makes him a good trade target or trade, not target, but a piece you can use in a trade. But I do like Heineman. I think I really do. I think he's an NHLer, and whether we keep him or trade him, he'll be in the NHL. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Galcan says always had Carlson as the second best pick. I don't think you're far off. You may be right, or he's third best. Like I think he's right up there. But and you know what? If they pick Carlson, Anaheim, not going to shock me either. But I still don't think they're going to. I think it's going to be Fantilli. Leonard is perfect if we keep 5. But the only thing I'm saying, says Sean, by the way, is 5 and Lane for him as Fantilli would be fair. Just because a big forward for the Habs would be perfect instead of a later pick. I mean, I get that. I definitely get that. I just, I don't know that I want to put. I don't want to me. Lane Hudson's an untouchable. I'll just say that. Danny Tabernac, how you doing, man? That's Danny Tabernac, no, Danny T. You're almost like good to see you. It is, but I'm taking off in a few minutes. But got another 5 minutes. But awesome to see you, dude. Awesome to see you. Thank you, Barnaby. I appreciate that. So who are you saying is a tough, hard shooting Barlow? Barlow? Oh, you're talking about Colby Barlow, right? Oh, he's not going to be that high a pick though. So you're talking about with the 31st pick. I don't think Habs make that pick. I think they trade it. I really do. Phil's back for the last 5 minutes. Awesome, Danny. Good to see you, man. I love that name, Danny Tabernac. You're up there in my top 10 names of the subscribers. Just in time. Yes, you're just in time. Yeah, well, it's not me doing the art. I just have to type in what I want. I wish I could take credit for it, but I'll just take credit for going out and getting the account and then using it. That's all. Had to fill the wife. Time waits for no one. I'm not going to ask more than that. I'll take you at your word. I'm not sure if food or something else. I'm not sure. Hey, thanks, Danny. I appreciate it. As we do here always at Talking Habs. So I'll be back. By the way, I missed last Wednesday. It's funny why I missed Wednesday's show. I think it was 8:30. Matt texts me and goes, "What? You're not doing a show tonight?" And I look at the text and go, "I was just about to eat." Totally forgot. Totally forgot. I had to leave. They were doing work here, construction out my window. They put a new awning kind of thing over the front. And I just couldn't take the noise anymore. And so I left earlier than I was planning to. I was going to put up a thumbnail, all that kind of stuff. And then forgot completely. So my apologies. I didn't do it on purpose. So I'll be back Wednesday for, obviously. Yes, it's the next Wednesday is the draft show. The draft is not this Wednesday. It's a week from Wednesday. We'll be doing a show. So we won't have Wednesday, the Wednesday night show. It'll be the draft show from 6:30, probably till we get tired of it or till the end of the first round. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going there, Phil. Lane is unusable for me to accept for what? Oh, he's an untouchable except to get a fantastic. Okay, I got you. Born to be Hab, I think Mayu for me is an untouchable as well. Galcan, 100%. I agree with that. I don't think he had. Oh, you know what though? I'm going to say this. I don't think he had the greatest start to the World Juniors. I think he did okay in the last few games. I think he played well. I don't think he had a great start, so therefore an overall not great overall tournament. It doesn't, that doesn't necessarily mean anything though. A lot of really good players had subpar world championships in their careers, so I don't know that you could take anything from that necessarily. All right, so we got I'm going to say about 5 minutes to go. If there's anything that you've ever wanted to ask me before, now is the time to do it. And I'm just going to go over this and see if I forgot anything, which I don't think I did. Yeah, I talked about everything. Amazing. What we didn't do is actually go over any Pierre-Luc Dubois proposals, like trade proposals, what Montreal would give up to get him. We might have. I don't remember at the beginning if we did. I don't think we did very many. If you want to give any of those, I'll comment on them before we go. That's the best I can offer. I think I gave mine, so I don't really have any more than that. I can make up a bunch, but I don't think it means anything. Galcan, I do get it. Don't worry, it's not lost on me. I'm just saying that he made up for it in the last couple of games, from what I remember, but he didn't have the greatest start. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Tell us about Jacques Cousteau. Jacques Cousteau. Why would you want to know about Jacques Cousteau? The wonderful world of Jacques Cousteau. When I was a kid, he used to have these specials like twice a year. We loved that shit. Right now, how do the Habs look? No. Right now, how do the Habs top six look like, in your opinion? Roster, I mean, not talent. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I want to go there even. It's a little early to kind of. Also, because I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to remember everybody's names. I don't have it all in front of me. I haven't really worked on that yet. Sometimes I do an early one, but even that is a little early for that. I definitely will do an opening night roster video, and that I always do those. It's a little early for me, so I'll try. Caulfield, Suzuki, obviously. Anderson probably. Well, let me say this: potentially Slavkovsky to start the season with them and see how it goes, or it'll be Anderson to start the season with them, and then see how that goes and whether they can get somebody else in there. Like, I don't think Andy's adequate there, but I don't think he's the right guy. Second line. Let's put it as, if they get Pierre-Luc Dubois, second line center, and probably Doc as the winger on the first line. And then I'd love to see if we do have Dubois, I wouldn't mind seeing Slavkovsky, Dubois, Anderson line, huge line, and I think that could be your second line. And that's about as far as I'll go, because a lot of things could affect that. But there you go. I pulled it out. Phil, this is a lot of kids watch. No, kids don't watch this show. Yeah, Sean, I don't disagree with that statement. I don't really disagree with it. But listen, the potential that they do get him, if they get PLD for the right price at the right AAV, I'm okay with it. I don't hate the guy, and I don't think he's a bad player. Just, I think you take a risk. In 3 years, he wants out. Other than that, if you're paying the right price to get him, and you are paying the right price in the contract, I'm okay with it. We have no left wing. It'll be a top off-season trade target. I don't know about that. You mean on the left side, second line? Who did I just say? If we had PLD, Slav can play the. Isn't he also a right shot left wing like Cole? Slav can play the left wing, Andy on the right, and whatever center in the middle. So say somebody else. What if they give Joshua Raw has a great camp, and they start the season with him on the right side on line one, and then you have Slav, Dak, and Anderson as line two. That could be. Phil, chip it in with that Drew ass signing. They're not signing Drew ass. Philippe de L. So we got two Philips here. That is if it's my stick, I might have a left stick here, but it ain't mine. I'm a right shot. So that was a stick of mine. So it's a right. I think I have a stick somewhere I used to use in the other room when I had the studio there. I found or someone gave me in their left, but I've never used a left stick, and it's not going to do me any good. No, there's a blade on it. There's a blade on it. I looked at it now. I see there's black tape on it, so I questioned that it was mine. It is right though. I like white tape. For whatever reason, I like white tape, so I doubt that was my stick actually. I feel Rock can be a good second line winger. It might be that he's second line. So perhaps he can move up and move Anderson out. I'm not a fan of Josh Anderson. Oh, well, that's fair. You don't have to be. Paul, that rumor, did you actually get that online somewhere? That yours? Because that's an overpayment by a lot. Mayu, the 5th overall pick, the 31st pick for the 2nd pick. I think that's a big overpayment. No matter how good, Fantilli could be great. I don't know, but great or not, I don't. You can't overpay. If he was an established player, different story because he's established. You know what you're getting. He's not, and that has to come into that has to have an input in that. You know what they say? They'll never tell the left hand what the right hand is doing. I think they're keeping Mayu, Paul. I think Mayu's for me is an untouchable. Opinion on Bonk. I don't listen. I know his father. Isn't his father Radek Bonk? He played here. I don't know anything about Oliver. It's Oliver. I don't. So I'd like to tell you that I do, but I don't. That's a rumor from Pierre Lebrun. Yikes. He could be better than Gooley. I think very different games. I don't know. I think it's different games. I think you want both those guys in the lineup. Hey, Joel, welcome in right at the end. I'm just about to go, but good to see you, buddy. PLD will never come to Montreal. Canadians, Pat Bristol will get. Wait a second. PLD will never come to Montreal Canadiens. Pat, it's Brisson, by the way. Will get him a better deal in LA or Vegas. I think so. All smokescreen tactics, and Canadians will select Michkov. Yeah, I don't agree with you on the Michkov personally, but I think you're right about. And I've said this today in this chat. I think LA. Vegas is new to me in this, but I think LA can offer a lot. I think LA has plenty to offer and can make this deal a lot better than what Montreal can do. And if I'm Winnipeg, I'm taking the best deal. I don't give a shit that he wants to go to Montreal. I'm taking the best deal that I can get. As a matter of fact, I might take a even slightly lesser deal from another team and not Montreal because he wants to go to Montreal. Like, I can see that happening. Mayu is going to be a gem. I believe he is. He's done everything he's been asked, and he stayed out of the combo. He may end up a gem. I think he's got high potential. Yeah. Now you guys say that you don't believe that Habs are in on PLD. No, the fact is that they are. To what extent, I don't know. Is he just doing his due diligence to see what's there? There could be that. To some extent, they're in on Pierre-Luc Dubois. So I don't think there's smoke there. There's some fire. Ray, stop barking, please. See if she listens. She doesn't. She doesn't. So so there you go. I think I definitely think the Habs, to some extent, are in on PLD. I do not think they'll overpay though to get him. Phil, I guess there's a possibility of what you're saying is true. Lane Hudson looks like a gem too. 100% agree. I think this group, this management, I think development is something that's very important to them. They're seemingly doing it the right way now, and I think I think that's gonna. I'm not as worried about development as I used to be. That's for sure. Galcan, to be a good GM, I think it's your job to look at all options. Doesn't mean you're going to take any of them, but I think if you don't listen, you could miss some good stuff, right? So, yeah, he does his job, and he's a shark. He ain't getting taken advantage of. Hey, Phil, have a good night, and don't forget, hey, 2 is better than 1. The Rick and Ray show, yes, sir. My dog loves to bark. Definitely. No, I don't think she wants PLD. She listens to her dad. I'm her dad, so. All right. On that note, I think I am taking off now. I went way over than I usually do. I'll be back on Wednesday for next live show. What else? Yeah, I do hope I'll have what are we, Saturday? Yeah, I'll have the Meachcop video should be out before then. I'm going to do that. I'm not sure what else. Anyway, that's what's happening. So thanks everybody for being here. I do appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't given a thumbs up and you had a good time on your way out, please do that. And same thing for subscribe. If you haven't and you find me worthy, please give a subscribe down there. And I'd appreciate that as well. And that's it. Till next time, stay safe out there. I want to thank everybody, all the members, all the subscribers. I just thank you guys for so far a wonderful 5 years. And don't know why I'm bringing that up now, but I'm full of love today. Till next time, stay safe. Peace out, y'all. I'll see you soon. Have a good rest of the evening. Saturday night, and it's what? Not even 10. Lots of night left. Enjoy the night. Ciao, everybody.